The atmosphere between the Dallas Cowboys and defensive superstar Micah Parsons, one of the most dominant players in the NFL in recent years, appears to have reached a breaking point. What once seemed like a complicated contract negotiation has now turned into a standoff that threatens not only the player's future in Dallas but also the team's immediate hopes of competing for a Super Bowl. According to reports, the relationship between the two sides has deteriorated, with much of the tension stemming from team owner Jerry Jones. Known for his direct and often inflexible negotiation style, Jones typically prefers simple deals, speaking directly with the player and minimizing the involvement of agents. However, this approach did not sit well with Parsons, who expected a more structured, professional process handled entirely by his representative. NFL insider Jordan Schultz was blunt in his criticism of the Cowboys' handling of the situation, stating that the mere fact Jerry Jones and the Cowboys believed they could negotiate a 9-figure extension with Parsons without involving his agent says everything about the current state of the franchise. Schultz argued the entire situation is ridiculous on Dallas's part, could and should have been avoided, but instead the team acted with arrogance, foolishness, and stubbornness. The disagreement escalated quickly. Behind the scenes, Parsons' frustration reportedly grew week by week, especially as public criticism of his performance and personality began to circulate. Although he initially avoided making strong statements, the pass rusher decided to break his silence. In a message posted on his social media accounts, Parsons officially announced that he no longer wishes to play for the Dallas Cowboys, explaining that after repeated criticism and all the narratives surrounding him, he had made the difficult decision to move on and had personally sent his trade request to Stephen Jones. The announcement sent shockwaves through the sports world. Jerry Jones quickly tried to downplay the impact of the news, urging Cowboys fans to remain calm and insisting he still believes a solution can be reached to keep Parsons in Dallas. However, according to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, the possibility of reconciliation is slim, as sources indicate that the ship has sailed and Parsons will likely reject any long-term offer from the Cowboys simply because he no longer wants to play for them. With the door to a contract extension seemingly closed, speculation has ramped up about where the star defender might end up. One of the most intriguing scenarios came from NFL.com's Eric Edholm, who pointed to the Buffalo Bills as a realistic and highly beneficial destination for both sides. Edholm argues that the Bills, who have come close to winning the Super Bowl in recent seasons, need to think boldly if they want to finally capture the elusive title. While the team's defense is talented, it has faltered in key moments, particularly in the playoffs. He noted that Joey Bosa was an important offseason addition and Greg Rousseau is a strong defensive player, but adding Parsons could completely transform the unit. According to Edholm, when the Bills have needed their defense to step up in critical games in recent years, especially in the postseason, they have failed more often than not. Bringing in another elite defender could be the difference between finally winning a championship and missing another golden opportunity. Indeed, Buffalo's defense has been a recurring talking point. Despite strong regular season performances, losses to rivals like the Kansas City Chiefs and Cincinnati Bengals have exposed weaknesses that proved costly. The arrival of a player as explosive and versatile as Micah Parsons, capable of dominating as a pass rusher, excelling in coverage as a linebacker, and even lining up in hybrid formations, could fix problems the team has carried for years. For Josh Allen, the Bills' unquestioned leader and franchise quarterback, a move of this magnitude would mean receiving a high-impact reinforcement on the other side of the ball, giving the team the balance it needs to make a true run at the title. It's no exaggeration to say Parsons' presence alone would instantly make Buffalo one of the top Super Bowl favorites. The remaining question is the cost of such a trade. Given Parsons' age, talent, and resume, a multiple-time All-Pro and a top candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, the price would likely involve multiple first-round picks, proven starters, and possibly additional compensation. Meanwhile, Cowboys fans face days of uncertainty, knowing that losing Parsons would not only weaken the defense but also send a dangerous message that the team cannot keep its brightest stars happy. For the Bills, however, the opportunity is tempting. Give up future assets for an immediate impact that could finally lead to the long-awaited Vince Lombardi Trophy. Micah Parsons' ultimate destination remains unknown, but one thing is certain, the situation in Dallas is far from resolved and could spark one of the biggest blockbuster trades the NFL has seen in years. Additionally, Buffalo Bills brought a rather interesting update. James Cook and the Buffalo Bills may finally be heading toward a resolution after weeks of uncertainty surrounding the running back's future. The 25-year-old, who has been a central piece of Buffalo's offense in recent seasons, had created tension within the organization by refusing to participate in practice sessions while pushing for a lucrative new contract. For much of the offseason, it seemed the two sides were far apart in their negotiations, and there was a growing concern among fans and analysts that the standoff could extend into the regular season. However, head coach Sean McDermott recently offered a more optimistic outlook, suggesting that progress is finally being made. Speaking to reporters, McDermott admitted there had been a shift in the tone of discussions with Cook, noting that recent conversations had been productive and that the team was receiving encouraging signals about his willingness to return to full participation. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Cook has indeed taken steps toward reintegration with the team, officially returning to the practice field on Tuesday, a sign that both parties may be inching closer to an agreement. Cook's return to practice was significant not only for the coaching staff but also for his teammates, who have had to adjust to his absence during critical preseason preparations. Just days earlier, the running back had been in full uniform before the preseason opener against the New York Giants, even taking part in pregame warm-ups and drills, yet he ultimately did not play in the game. That moment underscored the uncertain nature of the situation. Cook was close enough to the team to appear on the field, but the unresolved contract dispute kept him from competing. His actions over the summer painted a picture of a player torn between his desire to contribute on the field and his need to secure his long-term financial future. During the first week of training camp, he participated as usual, only to later sit out entirely, citing business reasons as the cause. Such holdouts are not uncommon in the NFL, but they often create a delicate balance between maintaining goodwill and exerting pressure on team management. The reported sticking point in negotiations is Cook's salary demands. Sources indicate that the running back has been seeking a deal worth around $15 million per season, a figure that would place him among the league's highest-paid players at his position. While Cook has been a consistent and dynamic weapon for Buffalo, some within the league question whether his production justifies that price tag in today's market, especially considering the NFL's ongoing trend of devaluing running backs compared to other skill positions. Cook's leverage may have been further complicated by the recent contract signed by Los Angeles Rams star Kyren Williams, who secured a 3-year, $33 million extension. While Williams' deal is substantial, it falls well short of the annual value Cook is reportedly pursuing, potentially setting a more modest benchmark for negotiations. For the Bills, resolving this dispute is about more than just numbers on a contract. Cook's role in their offensive scheme is critical, particularly as the team seeks to build a more balanced attack around quarterback Josh Allen. Over the past 2 seasons, Cook has provided explosive plays both as a runner and as a receiver out of the backfield, giving Buffalo a dual-threat option that keeps defenses guessing. Without him, the team would be forced to rely more heavily on less experienced backs or adjust their game plan in ways that could diminish their offensive efficiency. As the regular season approaches, the margin for error in preparation grows smaller, and having a key starter in limbo is far from ideal. McDermott's latest comments suggest that there is genuine optimism in the building, but the Bills remain cautious. The history of this negotiation, marked by Cook's wavering participation and sudden holdout, means that nothing is guaranteed until the contract is signed. There is always the possibility of another setback if talks stall or if new demands emerge. Still, his return to the practice field is a tangible step in the right direction, one that could pave the way for a final agreement in the coming days. The hope is that this momentum carries through and that the dispute is fully resolved before the Bills open their season. From Cook's perspective, securing a new deal before Week 1 would not only provide financial security but also allow him to focus entirely on football without the distraction of ongoing negotiations. For the team, it would mean heading into the season with their full offensive arsenal intact, a crucial factor in a highly competitive AFC landscape. Buffalo's championship aspirations hinge on more than just one player, but having Cook in the lineup from the start would undoubtedly improve their chances. The running game is expected to be a bigger emphasis this season, providing balance to Josh Allen's high-powered passing attack and helping control the pace of games against tough opponents. Ultimately, the Cook-Bills standoff has been a reminder of the complex dynamics between star players and team management in the NFL. It is a negotiation not just about money, but about value, respect, and the long-term vision for both sides. While there is still work to be done, the recent developments, particularly Cook's return to practice, offer the most hope yet that an agreement will be reached. With Week 1 looming, both the player and the franchise have strong incentives to close the deal, ensuring that one of Buffalo's most important offensive weapons is ready to take the field when it matters most.